Hi, my name is Juan Morales. I'm a painter, artist, muralist. I was born and raised in Albuquerque. Um, my artistic journey started around 2000, the first time I picked up a spray paint can. I honestly never really put it back down. We moved to Colorado Springs in 2019, and after the COVID shutdown, I found myself really chasing um, fine art and creating fine art and really creating more in general, um, which led to meeting Abby and Gundy, who were amazing. And I found myself with the opportunity to have a solo show at Art Gallery. Um, when I was contemplating and thinking about concepts and directions for this show, there were several directions I wanted to chase, um, but it wasn't until the concept of construction hit me that it really felt authentic. And once that concept took hold, I was really thinking about construction, literally, labor, people who work with their hands. Um, and I wanted to highlight that. But as the concept grew, I, it became more than literal construction. It became the idea of the construction we do on ourselves, how we are constantly building, we are constantly shaping ourselves, how our experiences shape us. So as the concept grew, it turned more from the literal construction to the human experience and how we are constantly chasing growth as to who we are and where we're going. So once that concept really took hold, I knew I had found my direction. So I wanted to use common materials, definitely something that would be evocative and encompass construction without a question. So that led to my material choice of plywood, spray paint, graphite, and resin. And the first piece that came to mind was um, Porvenir, which is the piñata. The concept of the piñata is amazing. It reminds me of childhood. It's a symbol of joy, but it's an interesting object because it's something that ultimately is going to be broken open. And it's celebratory, but it's destruction at the same time. And I just thought that was amazing. And it also holds the idea of the unknown and what's coming, the anticipation of breaking it open, not knowing what's inside a piñata. I thought that idea was tremendous. And the idea of not knowing what your future holds is it's a great symbol for that idea. Um, the next painting that took place was Color Current. And again, the imagery is simple. Paper boat. They're fragile. They're not meant to, withstand a journey in water, but we make them and we send them on their journey anyway. And I felt like it became a symbol of hope and the fact that none of us really know what direction we're taking. And the spilled paint is representative of the instances that push us forward, whether we have control of them or not. It's it's the growth that pushes our little boat along. And the marigold was um, probably my favorite, just because it's rooted in Mexican culture. It's a symbol of remembrance. But I didn't really want to create a painting solely about death. It was really more about passage of time and memory and what's left behind after people are gone, our relationships are over, and how they still impact our growth and the flow of our life after those things have ended. When it comes to the butterfly pieces, um, they're very indicative of my creative process. It's how I create. Every mark matters is absolutely true. It doesn't matter if the marks get covered or not. Each mark contributes to the finished piece. Destroy, build, repeat is along the same lines. That's very much so how I create. I'm constantly destroying pieces, sanding, painting over stuff, and then repeating it all over again. And I think that's very human. So that felt like the most authentic piece because it's what we all do. We're constantly building, we're destroying, we're repeating. And I felt like that was encapsulating the human condition. The assemblage pieces, I felt like once the materials are used and the work is done, they kind of fall on the wayside and they're forgotten. I felt like that wasn't really fair. So I wanted to highlight and give them a little moment in the sun. And I think it's important to remember the things that make the work, the utensils, the strategies, all these things are important to our growth, to our construction. This is probably the show where I've shown the most restraint as far as trying to make sure that it feels finished. And I felt that that was important for the concept of the show, to leave things unresolved in areas and leave open spaces with no resin and leaving the wood exposed or leaving parts of the sketch exposed. It just fits the concept of that nothing is ever really finished and we're never really finished. And that growth is just such a part of the human condition. But anyway, I hope you get a chance to see my show. I would love to hear your thoughts.